On the morning of July 2, 1954, a commercial passenger aircraft prepared for takeoff from Berlin. It was not a special flight. It wasn't experimental. It wasn't secret. It carried ordinary people. Office workers, families, a pilot nearing retirement. The flight plan was simple. The weather was clear. The aircraft passed every routine check. Nothing about that morning suggested history was about to bend. The plane lifted off smoothly, and then it vanished. No distress signal, no emergency call, no wreckage. 37 years later, without warning, that same aircraft appeared in the sky again. It requested permission to land, and it believed it was still 1954. Aviation in the 1950s was advancing rapidly, but it was still human. Pilots relied on radio contact. Navigation depended on landmarks and instruments. Radar coverage was limited, but reliable. Planes did not simply disappear. When Flight 914 failed to arrive at its destination, air traffic control assumed a minor delay, weather issues, airspace congestion, mechanical inspection. But as minutes turned into hours, concern grew. Repeated radio calls went unanswered. Military and civilian search aircraft were deployed. They scanned coastlines, forests, open water. Nothing. No smoke, no debris, no crash signals. By the end of the week, officials faced an uncomfortable truth. There was no evidence the plane had ever crashed, yet it was gone. Families waited, then mourned, then moved on. Flight 914 was quietly classified as a presumed fatal loss. Although the case was officially closed, it was never forgotten. Within aviation circles, Flight 914 became an anomaly. Pilots talked about it in hushed tones. Controllers mentioned it during training sessions. Insurance records flagged it as unresolved. The problem wasn't that the plane disappeared. The problem was how cleanly it disappeared. Most missing aircraft leave something behind. Flight 914 left nothing. No evidence of sabotage, no weather anomalies, no mechanical warning signs. It was as if the plane had simply stepped out of reality. In 1991, at a major international airport in South America, a controller noticed something unusual. An unidentified aircraft appeared suddenly on radar. No prior contact. No transponder signal consistent with modern aviation. The aircraft was approaching controlled airspace. The controller attempted contact. The response came immediately. Clear, calm, professional. The pilot requested landing clearance. When asked to identify the flight, he gave a number that had not been active for decades. Flight 914. The controller assumed it was an error, but the plane kept coming. The radar signature was real. Emergency procedures were initiated, and the aircraft was cleared to land. As the plane descended, ground crews noticed something unsettling. The aircraft design was outdated. Paint markings matched airline styles from the 1950s. The fuselage showed no modern upgrades. It should not have been airworthy, but it was. The landing was smooth, perfect. When the doors opened, witnesses described a scene that felt unreal. Passengers stepped out wearing mid-century clothing, men in suits with narrow ties, women in dresses from another era. Their expressions weren't confused. They were calm, normal, as if this was just another stop. Airport officials attempted to explain the situation to the pilot. They told him the date. He laughed at first. Then he checked his instruments. then his logbook. Everything showed a normal flight duration. Minutes, not decades. Witnesses say the pilot became visibly shaken. His hands trembled. He reportedly asked one question repeatedly: "What year is this?" When he was shown a modern calendar, his composure broke. He ran back into the cockpit. Some accounts claim he took flight documents with him. Others say he locked the door. Moments later, without clearance, the engine started. The plane taxied, then took off. It vanished again. The passengers are the most disturbing part of this story. According to witnesses, none showed signs of aging. No gray hair, no physical decline, no awareness of missing time. If true, their biological clocks had stopped. Not slowed, stopped. Some accounts say airport staff tried to question them. Others claim officials were instructed not to interact. No names were recorded. No interviews published. No photos released. For an event of this magnitude, the absence of documentation is chilling. Several explanations have been proposed. Time dilation. Time can slow under extreme conditions.